we are on this episode. We're gonna take a bunch of scrap pieces, exhaust, little fart pipe, and we threw some more booger welds on there. I'm gonna have to extend these a little bit. I just need to get a couple of elbows on each. That one needs to come down a little bit more, and then an elbow. I'm gonna reuse those headers so that way I can get them down and out. And then we'll also recycle over here in the scrap pile. Dig out the other muffler. That was the SLP loudmouth that was on the Firebird. Another fart pipe that was on Joey's Tiburon. No, we're not using the fart pipe. But the elbows, chop off. That SLP little glass back sounded pretty good, but we'll probably wind up putting those on it. Gotta get her quieted down. Oh, Kenzie, bring me some water. Thank you. It is hot today. Here we are. We got the headers in, boogered up. This was actually welded to the header before, so this is just it's there. Anyways, so I went and dug through the pile, found some turn downs that were on Joey's. But if we turn it around, I think if I gotta trim some of the end off, but I think I can get that in there a little closer, and then pop the header back out. I'll probably wind up having to cut this off up here somewhere. Some more booger welds. Don't worry about them. But you kind of see, and then we can get some straight pipe on there, maybe a muffler. We'll get her quieted down. Recycle and reuse, even with booger welds. It's okay. And we'll take our piece over here to the office. Office chair. It's not really an office chair, but it sounded funny. And then, we'll lop this off and check it again. Here we are, we're getting closer. Yeah. So basically I'm gonna wind up with something like that. Just below that part. Enough clearance to make it past that bar. It's gonna hang about right there. We should be able to take this header back out after we mark it and booger it together. Let the hate in the comments begin. It's all good though. Look at them. Boogers. This one was just kind of temporary. It was a down pipe, so I didn't even finish welding it. So I will go through and throw some more boogers on that. I'll probably have to cut some of this anyway, so that at some point, I can get the header back out. Because the flange doesn't exist there, and I wasn't buying more. We're doing this on a budget. Cheap. We got lots of parts laying around in the office. Did wind up taking the wrap off them too. Stuff just dries out and it just throws fiberglass everywhere. But yeah, motor mount, the plug's back in, motor mount's on, working on headers and exhaust, and we're gonna move on to trying to get it running again. Throw some tuning. I might even throw my carburetor or my Edelbrock on there. Oh yeah, we'll see if I can get this one. Should be all right. I mean, it runs, but we'll see. All right, there we got it. One side, kinda. Booger welds and all. I'll probably have to jack the car to the sky to get the whole piece under there, or I'll have to cut that section off. But at least this gets it out from up in in the engine bay area to down and under the car. Then we can get some clamps and some stuff later on. But Boy, it is a hot one today. Woo. Yeah, so here we are climbing in, you know, back underneath. I'm gonna jack it up and I'm gonna try to shove that header back up in there. But pretty cool. Another thing I found, you know, they got another one of these covers, which is pretty cool. It was on the other motor, but that right there is 036 block. Confirms it is a GM crate engine or slash replacement motor. 4-bolt main. If I can remember, I'll show that. I googled it, and you know, or you could just Google it, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, there's the soft plug. You can see she popped out and just sprayed juice everywhere. It is siliconed. It is flush. I tried to get it in a little bit farther, but it should be fine. But yeah, it sprayed, you know, rust water all over. But anyways, so the only other thing I found on this, you know, other than the rocker right there rusted out. Yep, zoom back in. So there's actually more to the story of the quarter panel. Now that I've actually been working on this thing, climbing under it and whatnot. Yeah, I found more. It's not the end of the world, but it is something. I'll show you here in a second. Hold on. All right, so originally I was working on this sprinkle right here. You know, I went, obviously it's not perfect. I got it out a little bit better. I had to open it up. You know, you look up in here, it's really not too bad. You know, fat tiring away, a lot of paint peeling and undercoat for days. But further, see this little section here, and then we look at this. We can see she's been pieced together there. Put that with the broken taillight and the different hatch with hood pins and a different bumper. I mean, I get it, he was trying to go for a Z28 look, but I'm gonna go ahead and say she was either or right in this rear end, because now mind you, it's behind the suspension, which is good, and you know, it has all of that frame ties and stuff on it. But if you look right there, she frame rail wrinkled. And like I said, it is behind the suspension. It's not the end of the world. It's actually kind of fitting with the name Joe Dirt to be banged up a little, but you can see there's some damage here and here, and it's not horrible, but she wrinkled there. I don't know if you can see that, but right here, and you know, she buckled this rear tail section of the frame rail. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? It happens. That one's not too bad, but unfortunately, she took a little rear tail damage. It's not completely horrible because the outer rail up there isn't really bent, but yeah, I figured I'd share that, because if I ever did wind up trading it up or trading it, I'd like the person to know. Yeah, and then see, right, this one is still pretty good. So it's all behind the suspension. I mean, she drove straight as an arrow. Yeah. And of course, the cancer right here in the rocker joint area for the seam here. But yeah, I think what helped it really was all these bars under here. I mean, looks like somebody tried to jack up on the rocker there. But you know, I'm already too far in it. We're gonna continue trying to throw this exhaust on it, get it quieted down. I want to see if it'll shift. You know, maybe go out and have a little fun with it. I don't know, but we're gonna keep plucking away at it though. But yeah, that explains. Oh, that piece is covered, but that explains that the wrinkle in the quarter. There's a bunch of mud here. I don't know what that's all about. It's pretty thick too. Probably had a dent there. But yep. Just in the tail. But they did a pretty decent job though. You know, kind of covered it up. You know, the Bondo busted off, but and then you know, the wrinkle kind of spreads up into here, but it's a little wavy through here. But I mean, what are you gonna do, right? She's Joe Dirt. I'm gonna keep plucking away at it though. All right, let's see if let's try a test fit. Let's see if I'm made up. Want to be long tube? Actually fit. Oh, still there. Tools are falling over. Camera's going. Ah, look at that. Sweet. Obviously, I gotta pop the exhaust gas to get in. Yeah, gasket in there. If I could talk, I'd tell you. Just want to see what it looks like. I know. It looks like a header. All right. Yeah. That'll go up farther when I finish bolting it in, but yeah, we're getting there. Boy, it sure has been a hot one today. Still better than freezing cold. Yeah, we still got this whole side to worry about. I did wind up moving the power wire routed down behind. You know, it's got that new starter in there. New, probably knockoff Street Fighter style MSD. I think that's about what the same thing I put in the Cutlass. Then of course, when I got the exhaust done, I was going to throw a timing light at it. I know, right? Timing light and me? What? Crazy. Who does that? And I can't find it. Shocker. But yeah, I took the wrap off. It's going to make it a little bit easier to get to some of the bolts. Some of them can be a pain in the ass, especially the back ones. But yep. Yeah, gonna stand in this AC for a minute. Like I said, my AC. Whew. I know. The Camaro's still in here, covered up. Mad at me because I keep buying other projects and trading and whatnot. We gotta get back onto this one. You know, we took her to bare metal. Really, it's all brand new paint. It's just been stuck inside. I ran out of paint to finish some stuff. Yeah, she's just collecting dust. Still gotta pull that whole harness and everything back out. That's the Firebird harness. I'm not gonna pull that out until I order the harness for the car itself. And then good luck finding T-tops, seals. It's got them damn Cars and Concept T-tops. It's the second Camaro I've got that's had them. It's not Fisher. They're not factory ones. They were it was a dealer installed T-top. It was a small company that went through the dealers or something like that. Not a professional on all this, but I did Google it a long time ago. I've had the car, I don't know, 15 years or 10, 15 years. But yeah, these CNC tops, they're pricey and they're worth some money, supposedly. I'm not a fan of them. I don't know if it shows it right there. I know there's a tag on it somewhere, but anyways, long story short, if it has those, good luck finding a new top. I had an 86 Camaro with one top missing. I was like, no problem. Now, sure, you can send it, as long as you got this piece, you can send it out and have glass made for it. I think it was like $300, but the seals, forget about it. I've tried. The original ones are over there. Move my hand, maybe it'll zoom in there. They're hanging up. I took them out. Maybe one day I can hopefully find a company that can remake them, or maybe we just chop the top off and put a hard top on it. I'm not really a fan of the T-tops anyway myself, but yeah, we're just tinkering with this one. Got a driveway full of them. Mr. Lowlife, got the Hardley, the Boys Cutlass, 57 chilling over there. Summertime, we gotta bring them all out, Every once in a while, I have my own little car show out front. Neighbors love it. I'm slowly getting stuff for this. If y'all been following along, you've seen it. It's just a turbo LS, front mount intercooler. So we run off Holly EFI, Terminator X, little Chinese turbo. I got sensors and whatnot to get, a bunch of odds and ends. Did the hydraulic conversion, still working on that. Yeah. Did wind up buying the fuel pump for it. Pow! Nice little Holly fuel pump. Of course, I bought this originally when I was going to do the LS swap in the Camaro. LS fuel pump. Get the Corvette regulator thing, bunch of fittings and whatnot. Turbo stuff. This one, I want to say this one is for dumbing down the power steering, the pump for the gearbox. Don't hold me to it, but I'm pretty sure that's what I ordered that for. It's been so long since I ordered that, but and then of course the fittings. So these are going to be, they'll go into the gearbox itself, and then eventually I'll be able to put my stock Camaro lines, or the LS power steering pump fuel lines, into the stock setup, and then this is supposed to dumb it down so it doesn't blow the seals out. The rest is just fittings, but so this ain't gonna be enough, I guess. So I got the bigger pump. I'm gonna run all new lines. Not the rubber, but we're gonna do, of course, now that I'm on camera, I got a brain fart, but it's a PFE or whatever it is. So we're gonna run that throughout the whole car. Gotta get a regulator and a bunch of other stuff mounted up here, and you know, the crossover lines. Future stuff. Joe Dirt time though, you know? It's actually kind of cool to have a little car that I can just hammer on, you know what I mean? Ain't gotta worry about the paint. And you know, if I wanted to go down dirt road or something, of course the windshield is busted. I am gonna wind up replacing that. I'll probably just have a company come do it. I found one already out. It's $200. I don't feel like sawing, you know, all the way around it. It's not a lot of fun. If you've ever done one, yeah. I do kind of like the sticker though, I'm not gonna lie. I might wind up getting another one of them. But I'm not gonna change that. I'll let somebody else, I'll let the professionals do that. I'll sit in the back and be the non-professional, you know, YouTube backyard mechanic. What's up, y'all? Here we are on Joe Dirt, messing with exhaust. Just kind of hanging on there right now, but you know. But I was wondering if any of y'all have ever used. I know it's a little rusty, but this style connection kit. Yeah, she's fully tied in. Yeah, working on making an exhaust for it. It's just kind of sitting in there for now, but then we gotta do the other side still. But yeah, I didn't know if anybody knew what this kit was. If you do, let me know. I'm gonna work on getting some of this stuff off. A lot of this stuff on the door will come off. I started cleaning up, just wiping it. Old Joe Dirt. Now we're gonna just take this stuff off. Yeah, just a little elbow grease. That's full of black mold. We'll ignore that. Damn, look at that. It already looks better. Yeah, you know, unfortunately the wife decided to crash the e-bike and broke her arm. We got, you know, Dre over here doing some work. We'll show you that in a minute, but old Joe Dirt. We're just gonna get a little bit of the dirt off. I know it's Joe Dirt, leave it there, but that's just a magnet too. Look at that regular Camaro Z28. I know what I got. There we have it after we wiped it down. Did a quick little buff. Took all that stuff off. I could scrap that off, you know, if I wanted, but it's about to go right there. Joe Dirt. Then we got a little surprise for the back part. No, it's not a dick. Family friendly. Come on now. PG-13. Joe Dirt. Working on getting some of this stuff off. A lot of this stuff on the door will come off. I started cleaned up just wiping it. Oh, Joe Dirt. Now we're gonna just take this stuff off. Just a little elbow grease. That's full of black mold. We'll ignore that. Damn, look at that. It already looks better. Yeah, you know, unfortunately the wife decided to crash the e-bike and broke her arm. We got, you know, Dre over here doing some work. We'll show you that in a minute, but old Joe Dirt. We're just gonna get a little bit of the dirt off. I know it's Joe Dirt, leave it there, but that's just a magnet too. Look at that regular Camaro Z28. I know what I got. There we have it after we wiped it down. Did a quick little buff. Took all that stuff off. I could scrap that off, you know, if I wanted, but well, that escalated quickly. But the headers are on. The exhaust is kinda underneath. Obviously, I'm gonna have to do something else with it. But for now, you know, it's out there. Yeah, I kind of squished this one, jacking up a little bit, but that one I can cut and angle. But we're better off now than we were before because they were up in here. The other one was even farther, but yep. Wound up taking the holly off, threw on my Edelbrock. Of course, it's way too big, 750. But, digging into, you know, the reasons why. Kind of run a little. I mean, it ran good, but it didn't want to really idle too much. We did have a broken porcelain, but hiding under the plug wires, you know, all that corrosion. So I'm going to do the wrong thing. I'm going to pop the cap off. And we're going to see what it looks like. But yeah, I'm going to run the Edelbrock. Got somewhat of an exhaust hooked up. Popped in a different sensor. It does have an actual painless harness. Ran through the whole car. Which is pretty cool, but for some reason the gauges, factory gauges on the dash don't work. But yeah, headers are in. Like I said, it's just temporary for now to get it out and kind of under so I can build something, because there was absolutely nothing. But cleaning it up, got rid of the heater hoses, blocked off this port. And this port, they were just rerouted to themselves. Delete that. Replacing the fuel line on that. This is what was on it. I'm not hating. Hey, use what you got, right? But so this steel braided stuff, I'm not really a fan of, because it will chafe through your paint. It'll chafe through wiring. It'll stab you. And then you got that filter on there. Now you can run this one if you want. I like the wicks just because it's clear And obviously I'm not running a shit ton of pressure because it's carbureted. But I'm gonna run this setup with, I put a little heat stuff around it, and then we'll run new fuel line up and to the carburetor. Yeah, a couple plug wires, throw a little timing at it and see how it sounds open headered. Oh yeah, we're also gonna throw these bad boys in there. I got enough to go all the way around. Drop them on the ground, get rid of these little short stubby guys. You know, get a nice, is it overkill? Probably, but it'd be nice to have the longer stud. You know, it's got a lot of undercoating on it too. You know, that's just surface rust on it. Well, yeah. So I started peeling some of it off. Little baby rotors. Also deleting this bracket. It's one of them stock units. Used to go back here and supposed to hold the throttle and everything. It's not gonna work. I'm gonna go ahead and try this unit. Just mounts to the back here. And it'll house the throttle and hopefully the kickdown. Gotta get a little piece for there because of course it's missing. But we'll have that hooked up. It's just a little cleaner look. Getting rid of some of the, you know, the extra pieces like these. These are, you know, they're okay. I'm not a big fan of them. And they're metal, you know, without the grommets on there, they can chafe through and mess your stuff up. Here we go, we got the cap off. As you can see, there was some corrosion getting into a couple of them. Somebody put a new setup on it. Don't look too bad though. I'll clean those up. We'll have to clean that up a little bit. And we made this piece for now because I don't have all the right adapters and everything. But this is the piece that I already bought a while ago. The throttle cable itself was a little too short, so I just kind of, you know, rigged up a little piece for now. Yeah, that's a little piece of hose. I don't have the clip to hold that. And also for the kickdown cable, it is hooked up. But you know, obviously, unfortunately, the old angle to dangle ain't right. So I need the either make or just buy the little adapter, brings it down and in a little. So this will be straighter and it won't be stretched, maxed out. Like, I mean, that's where it was. It just pops into this nicer bracket, takes up less room. We got our temp sensor hooked up, but so yeah, I'm gonna have to change that over, get that straight, get that adjusted. That's okay. I'm not mad at that. That could use a clip. And you know, put together some wires because I want to break in one, but you know, this is pretty new. This is hooked up, but it's not working on the dash, and I don't have the fittings for that, so I'm not gonna mess with that right now. I did run for now the line. Yeah, it's the plastic burn your rig down style for now, but like I said, budget. We're doing Joe Dirt style on a budget, trying to, you know, stay cheap. A lot of the stuff I have here, so that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to reuse parts and pieces and whatnot. So the less we have to spend, the better, because we need the funds for that guy. But we're getting a little closer, cleaned it up a little bit. That's gonna stay that way for now. I'm not really gonna run it, so, well, I'll fire it up, but we're gonna get some water in this thing, get a little gas, hook up some plug wires, and you know, obviously the cap and rotor back on after I cleaned it up. Try to set the timing by ear. Unfortunately, I can't find my timing light still, so old school it is. We'll set it by ear for now, meaning forever. See if I can do this one-handed. We're pretty close. Still route some fuel line and whatnot. I'm gonna attempt to throw some water in it. See if I can do this one-handed. Close enough. We're gonna throw some water in it and see if it dumps all over me or the ground. Yeah. Well, so far so good. It's only taken a little over half a gallon. I don't hear anything leaking. Looks like we're might be good. And I'm actually surprised it didn't lose more than I did. Must have still had some in there, because like I said, I've only put half that gallon. I don't hear nothing yet. Oh yeah. That's the plug that blew out and sprayed the nice brown juice everywhere. It's my pieced together header. What's nice is the headers actually, with these pieces still on it, will go in and out from the top. It's not the prettiest. I actually wound up cutting this piece off of this one because it kept hitting. I should have done this one too, because it's really nothing. It's kind of booger welded right together and shoots out the back, but you know, that being said, we can get her out the back a little better, so she can blah 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 out there. See what it sounds like. I'm not seeing any leaks yet, so we'll step on to the next one. It does have a tranny cooler in it. They even put little pads on there. Nice. Lots of surface rust from sitting, but yeah, I'm gonna wind up digging out the other mufflers, some used ones we took off the Cutlass. See if I can't put some kind of pipes, get them back a little bit farther, and maybe some mufflers and spit them out the side. You know, there's so many ideas I could do with that, but obviously that one over here is too low. Needs more of a bend, but it gets it down and out, and I can cut that, and you know, we can put another piece with a flange on it so I can unbolt the back half, whatever exhaust goes on it. But yeah, this thing's pretty cool too, hey. So I was thinking, y'all let me know, maybe I should put some fog lights in here behind the grill here. That'd be kind of cool, right? Yeah, go with the rest of the lights, but they'd be kind of hidden. They used to do that back in the day. Sweet. But yeah, cleaned up a lot better. And obviously a couple little lines. I still need a cap or a filter. You know, I need to get the stud, so the other filter will stay on there. Some of the unnecessary stuff's out of the way. Just, and that heat wrap. No. I'm not a big fan of that. It's good as long as you get quality stuff, I guess. You know, this stuff, I don't want to knock on nobody. Just obviously the headers got so hot they just turned brittle, and then it breaks up. And when you're trying to do header, the plugs and everything, you get the insulation all over you. It's just, we got plenty of clearance, so I don't really need it. Kind of sucks that the heater box was broke, but it is what it is. But yeah, we added this the other day. Yes, I know, Joe Dirt drove a Plymouth, trust me. But we also added this, pretty cool. America. I know he drives a Plymouth. It's just the look of it just says Joe Dirt to me. You know, with the dents and the dings and the big old fat tires that stick out way too far. You know, body kit that's not on all the way. Bunch of different colors. I did clean this side up the other day. Threw a little buff at it. Actually shines out pretty nice, but Joe Dirt. In a Chevy. It's just the name, people. You know what I mean? It's kind of fitting, I think. Just looks like a Joe Dirt car. Come on now. And then of course we gotta run new fuel lines with that filter, so we go with our, not sponsored, but we'd love to be, Evil Energy new fuel line. Only gonna need a couple pieces of it. Now theoretically you wanna, you know, like a hardened line, like a steel line or something like that coming up, but we're just gonna run a rubber line for now. Got the brand new Evil Energy fuel line here. We're gonna throw some of this in there and keep moving on. We're that close, y'all. It did crank over for a little bit. Actually primed up some gas. It don't look the best. I did put some fresh gas in it a little while ago though, so. But I throw a little charge at it. It's cranked over and died. I gotta redo the timing. What I should have done is pop that plug back out when I had the cap off and set the, you know, pop the distributor if I had to. Figured out where they have it. It seems like it's, I don't remember, but I think they might have had it on that as number 1, which is okay. You know, I got that as number 1, but it just seemed pretty far out, so we're gonna let it charge for a minute and we'll be back at it. Yeah, low life over here. My 96 OBS. We got Joe Dirt. We'll be there soon, hopefully. See how them straight pipes sound. You know, probably like a demo car. Alright, here we are. Close enough, we're gonna try it. Wife's on guard duty. Does work. Oil don't. Volts does. I rigged up another one in there. That's the carb that's been sitting on this shelf for a while. Smell some burning shit. Man, I gotta find my timing light. So I throw some timing at it. But awesome. Joe Dirt lives again. Alright, let's try this again. Stanky girl. Phew. What's up, y'all? Here we are. Shift Customs, little shop of dreams. We're chilling in the AC. Yeah. But it's been a hot couple days. Spent the last couple days working on Joe Dirt out here on the AC shop. And we've been plugging away. They got a bunch done. It kind of ran his rope when I first got it. Then it popped a soft plug. So we got the soft plug back in it. I still gotta do a brake line. You know, a lot of this other stuff's gonna wind up coming up in the next video. I'm gonna probably wind up calling it here for this one. Oh, the ice melts fast around here. But yeah, we replaced the fuel line from the pump to the carburetor. I threw my carburetor on it. It's a little big, but it's a 750 off of Old Smoky that was in the Camaro. Yeah, one behind me. Back when it was running a small block Chevy. Old school, you know, 350. But yeah, it took a minute. Popped off. The fuel pump on that motor is strong, man. That thing, boom, pumped right up. That was nice. So we got the new fuel line coming up. New filter going into the carburetor. We did wind up taking the headers off. We had to take that wrap off. It just past its prime. And so we got the other headers off and back on, and we had to modify them a little bit. But they're kind of like a long tube mid-length now. They just go down and out. We got those kind of under there, so obviously there's no exhaust. It's just straight piped out the back. Cleaned up the cabin rotor a little bit. Did wind up having to replace one plug wire, one spark plug. We got it running today. Can't run it very long. Seems to be holding water, which is good. Got that soft plug in. It's holding water. The alternator is not charging. I don't know why yet. And the battery died on me. And of course, my older charger also crapped out. So, but now we're just gonna, you know, hang out and give me something cold to drink. It's been a long day. Still gotta do wheel studs. I'm gonna replace all the wheel studs. I gotta do the brake line, a bunch of other little stuff. That'll all be up in the next video. You have to follow along. We're gonna clean the inside. I did clean the outside a little bit, and I kind of buffed one side. I know why bother, but it did look better. It's just all stuff that I got around here, you know, just tinkering for free for the most part. We'll get some different exhaust pipes underneath. It's probably gonna be a little bit, and it's just gonna be a get it done job. You know, it's not gonna be the prettiest, but it's gonna be functional. It'll still be kind of loud, but we don't want obnoxious loud. We don't want open headers. We know it is Joe Dirt, and I know he drove a Plymouth. But yeah, I'll take you out here and I'll show you some of it. It is. We got the Edelbroken on top of the Edelbroken intake, Edelbrock valve, valve covers. Headers are in. A lot of this is buttoned up. Still got, you know, change that, make that back a little bit farther. We're gonna see if the transmission will shift in drive, you know, automatically. It wasn't hooked up when I first got it, so you know I had to make this little piece. But yeah, dig up a timing light so I can really get the timing dialed in. But the old battery died, and so did my charger. Just charged this last battery. Got the new filter on there. Velcro or Wix, whatever it was. Yeah, deleted all the wrap. Got the exhaust kind of on there. It's holding water so far. We gotta go through still and clean it all up. The cool part is radio works. It's only got 2 speakers up front. They're actually what are they? Kickers. They work. If you know, if it had an antenna hooked up, but that's still cool. It used to be an AC car. No, air combo. No, there ain't no AC on there. Is there? Max air conditioner. Yeah, meathead. So it was an AC car. But yeah, the oil pressure does not work. The fuel gauge works. The volt gauge seems to work. Honestly, I don't remember if the speedometer works, but that's okay. And the windows work. All good things. I'm gonna go ahead and call it for now on this video. You have to follow along on the next one. Mackenzie. Yeah. America. Little straight pipes. Crooked. That one got smushed up a little bit. I tried to jack it up with the jack, of course. I smushed the end in, but that's okay. We can cut that one off and that one off and put a flange on. Put some kind of mufflers or something. Yeah, it did clean up a little bit. Hopefully, in the next video, we'll have that piece. We'll have a couple other little pieces. You know, so we can keep plucking away at old Mr. Joe Dirt. It'd be nice to get it out. Maybe take it to the track. Have some fun with it. You have to follow along. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all on the next one.